When you've had a situation of fallenness, you have to do some repenting and turning, making teshuvah, then being restored. The restoration process can be a little more lengthy than what we might be comfortable with. Hi, this is Barry Phillips with 10-Minute Torah, Day 2, Metzora, the afflicted one. We are still in Vayikra, Leviticus, chapter number 14. And we'll pick up from where we left off yesterday in verse number 4. It says, "Then the priest shall command, and he shall take for him who is to be cleansed 2 live and clean birds, and cedar wood, and scarlet, and hyssop. And the priest shall command, and he shall slay one of the birds in an earthen vessel over running water. Let him take the live bird, and the cedar wood, and the scarlet, and the hyssop, and dip them and the live bird in the blood of the bird that was slain over the running water. And he shall sprinkle it 7 times on him who is to be cleansed from the leprosy, or the sarat, and shall pronounce him clean, and shall let the live bird loose in the open field." Now, as we read this, it will continue in some detail as to what takes place next. So, is John just making this up as he goes? Is he just thinking of what could be an unusual recipe for the one who has had Sarat, the Metzora? How far can I push this and make this interesting? Well, everything has a purpose. Everything teaches us something. Here we have certain elements. We have, if we can go back and read this in verse number 4, 2 live and clean birds, cedar wood, scarlet, and hyssop. Now, each of these things has something to communicate to us. Birds are, if you go out into the front yard here at my home, you're going to hear a variety of birds chirping and singing back and forth and making their calls. And as I sit on the front porch sometimes and just listen, it's as if there's a bird over here and a bird over there, and they are communicating back and forth, but they're just saying the same thing back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And it's over and over and over again. And you begin to wonder, what is it that they're doing? And are they actually saying anything? Is this a warning call? Stay over there. I'm going to stay over here. There's a hawk in the area. Chatter, 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 chatter. Mindless chatter is what we're dealing with here. And it is when we begin to allow our mouth to get engaged and things begin to flow out of it that we're not filtering and guarding and discerning about. We end up saying, "Oh, I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said it that way. I didn't mean to say that. That came out wrong. Let me try that again." Well, getting those words and shoving them back down your throat really doesn't work very well. Once they're out, they're out. And how many times have we miscommunicated, said the wrong thing at the wrong time to the wrong person, and ended up with our great big old foot stuck all the way in our mouth and down our throat? The situation is that mindless chatter is still accountable to us. Yeshua warned that we would give an account of every idle word, and that verse is always horrifying to us. So, these 2 birds who are symbols of the mindless chatter that can go on. One is slain because words can kill. Yaakov, or James, teaches us that words, or our tongue, is like a deadly poison. It's a dagger that will stab you. It's a vicious thing. And so a bird loses its life here. And then we have cedar, which is among the tallest of trees. It is that which is high and lofty, and such is our opinion of ourselves, or our haughtiness, or our pride, that can also cause great destruction. These 2 are then connected to scarlet. Scarlet is a color, a dye that is taken from a lowly worm. And then hyssop is among the lowliest of plants. It's just a scraggly scrub bush of sorts. Not a lot of beauty, nothing to be desired there. And so these are all tied together with the scarlet thread or the scarlet cord. And they're dipped into running water, that is a mikvah, a mikvah pool or a body of water that it's moving qualifies as an immersion pool. And so there is a change that takes place. Now, once all of this ritual is completed, the live bird that has been dipped with the other elements in the bloody water are pulled out, and they sprinkle the man. One commentary says on the back of his hand 7 times. Well, okay, that's over. Now I can go back home, right? No, not yet. You're able to come back into the camp. This is stage 1 of your restoration, but you can't go home. So it says here in verse number 8, he is to be cleansed, shall wash his garments, shave off his hair, wash himself in water, and shall be clean. He comes in the camp, but he stays outside his tent for 7 days. He's not able to resume relations with his wife or her husband, as the case may be. He's not back home yet. After 7 days, he goes through a repeated shaving process, washes his garments and his body again, and shall be clean. So now he can go back home. But he's still not done yet, because the next day he comes and he presents offerings at the tabernacle, 2 male lambs, perfect ones, a ewe lamb, a perfect one, 3/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with oil for each of those offerings, and a log of oil for each of those. He also brings a wine offering, a drink offering, I believe, and he goes through all of this, and then he is finally restored. When we are restored too quickly, without the process of dealing with the stuff, you can't just say, I'm sorry, I acted inappropriately, please forgive me. And then you get back into the body and you reassume all of the positions or opportunities that you had previously without any delay. You are potentially taking someone then and you're promoting them in the restoration process too quickly. Now, it's not to say that we make people suffer for what they did. No, we need them to be cognizant of and aware of your violence of words, your disregard for propriety in relationship, your harming of the body was costly. The one who comes to these offerings, it's not cheap. He's given live animals here, and they're, each one has a cost, plus the grain, plus the oil, plus the drink offering. This is expensive restoration. Restoration does cost us something. If it's free, easy, and without obstruction, without delay, we won't appreciate it. There was a famous preacher, I'll put it that way, a few decades ago, who was at least famous in the United States, but world known, who have conducted great big campaigns, was extremely popular here in the U.S., especially in my hometown. And he stood in front of a national TV audience and confessed, I have sinned. Tears rolling down his face. And he went to his headquarters and was restored that quick. It happened again. Too quick. Yah wants us to understand the methodical process that will eventually get us to full restoration, but it must be employed. Tough words, but they're good for us. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Shalom.